Cinderella, a bedtime story for children. Today we have a book named Cinderella, a bedtime story for children. I think they're so pretty. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I love it. Please give this video a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Thank you, reading. So, here we go. The story is about a time when a rich and widowed man had a beautiful girl named Cinderella. But the girl's life changes when her mother dies and her father remarries an evil woman. He has two ugly and mean girls. After some time, Cinderella's father died. He then reveals his true nature in his stepdaughter and forces her to become a servant. Dive into the story to uncover what transpired afterward. The Cinderella story began. In a faraway land, long ago, there lived a rich widower and his charming daughter Cinderella. Desiring a nurturing presence for her child, she once again ventured into matrimony. However, the fate that the stepmother gave Cinderella was two ugly and mean daughters named Anastasia and Drizella. Sadly, when Cinderella's father passed away, her stepmother stopped being nice to her. She was jealous of Cinderella's beauty and forced her to become a servant in her own home. Cinderella had a tiny room in the attic, and her only friends were the birds and mice who listened to her dreams of happiness. One morning, Cinderella found a little mouse trapped in a trap. She set him free and named him Gus. Cinderella asked the other mice to warn Gus about the stepmother's cat, Lucifer. Cinderella had many chores to do, like giving Lucifer his milk and feeding the chicken. The mice liked to have breakfast too, but Lucifer wouldn't let them near the corn. One brave mouse, Jock, kicked Lucifer and made him fall into the water. Lucifer was very angry and tried to catch Gus. Luckily, Gus escaped and hid under a teacup in the kitchen. Just then, Cinderella heard her stepmother calling her. She picked up the breakfast trays and went upstairs. The mice kept Gus safe under the teacup. Meanwhile, in the royal palace, the king and the Grand Duke were talking about the prince getting married. They decided to have a ball and invite all the young girls in the kingdom so the prince could find a bride. The royal messenger delivered an invitation to Cinderella's house. Cinderella was excited and asked her stepmother if she could go to the ball. Her stepsisters laughed at her, but Cinderella was determined to go. Her stepmother said she could go if she finished all her work. Cinderella rushed upstairs to find something to wear. She chose one of her mother's old gowns, and the mice decided to help her. They sewed and cut the dress while singing happily. When the dress was finished, Cinderella was amazed at how beautiful it looked with an old sash and beads her stepsisters had thrown away. That evening, Cinderella sadly watched her stepmother and stepsisters leave for the ball. She hadn't had time to get ready. But then her mouse friends surprised her with the finished dress. Cinderella quickly put it on and rushed downstairs to the carriage. As she was leaving, her stepsisters saw her and became jealous. They called her names and ripped her dress. Cinderella ran into the garden, crying and feeling miserable. Suddenly, a kind old lady appeared. She was Cinderella's fairy godmother. The fairy godmother used her magic to turn a pumpkin into a sparkling carriage and the mice into horses. Cinderella's horse became the coachman, and even Bruno, the dog, turned into a footman. The fairy godmother also gave Cinderella a beautiful ball gown and glass slippers. Cinderella thanked her fairy godmother, then gracefully entered the carriage. The fairy godmother warned her that the magic would end at midnight. At the palace, the prince saw Cinderella and instantly fell in love with her. They danced together, but when the clock struck midnight, Cinderella had to leave in a hurry. She ran away, losing one glass slipper on the palace steps. The carriage turned back into a pumpkin, and Cinderella was left in rags again, except for the glass slipper she still wore. The prince was sad and decided to find the girl whose foot fit the glass slipper. The next day, the Grand Duke started looking for the girl. Anastasia and Drizella tried to squeeze their feet into the slipper but failed. Meanwhile, the mice, Jacques and Gus, were determined to help Cinderella. They managed to get the key to the attic and freed her from her locked room. Just in time, Cinderella arrived and asked to try on the glass slipper. With the help of her animal friends, she sat down and the slipper fit perfectly. The prince was overjoyed and realized that Cinderella was the one he loved. Soon after, Cinderella and the prince got married. The mice watched happily as Cinderella's dreams came true. The end. Good job, friends. Thank you so much for reading with me. Bye, I'll see you next time.